just in immigration now, just clearing out the country. Just filled out all the forms. Ready to depart on Saturday or Sunday. This is the immigration officer, this is Billy. He's been very helpful to us while we've been here. He's going to stamp our departure forms now. And we'll all be sorry to leave. We'll be sorry to leave the Solomon Islands. It's been a really good time here.
Been a long frame over the COVID situation here in Solomon Islands.
That's right. I mean, there's a lot of people stuck here with COVID-19 because of that, and we're quite happy that it's we've been stuck here.
And also I'm happy that I can assist you in any way, whatever I can do.
Yeah.
While you were here in the.
Everybody's been very, very helpful, and it's been very friendly towards us. It's been good.
You can have your passport as well.
Yep.
For your passport. Nationality is Australia, Your youth. Bound for.
So there's our gas bottles we've got to get filled. Drop them off and pick them up later. This is the origin yard at Noro. So the other place I need to go to is the customs and inform them I'm departing the country as well. So it's in this building over here. So Johnny Vito's heard that we're leaving, and he's just rowed out in his canoe, and he's got a little present for us. So what's that, manta ray?
John's just given us a manta ray carving. Thank you. With his address on it. Thank you very much. Did you get your cigarettes?
Huh?
Did you get your cigarettes?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Only one a day.
Yeah. Thank you very much for your come stay for us.
Oh,
you're right.
it's lovely here.
Help us,
It's lovely.
present, everything
Yeah.
settled.
That's good.
That's great. Thank you.
Porridge. Porridge and fruit for the morning. Healthy breakfast. Good morning all. So we've left the Munda Bar. It's about 8 o'clock in the morning now. We left about an hour or so ago. We haven't got a great deal of wind, maybe 8 knots from the east-southeast. So we're not doing much speed here. We're doing about just over 3 knots at the moment. We've got the full jib out and we've got one reef in the mainsail. A bit of a cock up first thing this morning. We set the reef points yesterday when we were anchored into the mainsail and we put them in wrong. And I don't know why we did that or how I did that, but I did. So we pulled them up and it was all skewed off on the boom, so we had to rearrange that. It took a little bit of time, but it's sorted now. So I think at the moment the speed's down because we've got the landmass of Wendover Island shielding the wind a bit. I think once we get past the land and the island here, we should be okay. And the wind will probably pick up a bit later and we'll be okay. We'll be sailing a bit smoother then with a bit more wind. So that's Wendover Island over there. And once we pass that northern tip, we'll be clear of the reef and islands, and we've got a clear run, and we're heading down to west of Pocklington Reef, which is a reef west of Papua New Guinea, of Russell Island, which is in the Louisiades. And that'll be our first waypoint before we continue on into the Coral Sea. It's about 4:30 in the afternoon now, on Sunday still, and we've come about just over 50 miles since we left the anchorage this morning. We're doing around about 7 knots, 7.5, a little bit more sometimes. We've got about 20 knots from the east-southeast, and we've got one reef in the mainsail, and we've got the full jib going. So we're making reasonably good speed. So that's Wendover Island. If we come up here, this is the reef here, which I've got marked with pirate symbols, and we're heading for that waypoint there, which is about 30 miles from that reef. We're on wind steer, so we're going where the wind's steering us basically. So if it stays where it is, we'll head up to that waypoint. It's expected to move a little bit to the east, which will pull us further to the west of that reef, but that's fine. So 2 to 3 metre seas, I guess. We'll have a look outside, eh? O'clock in the morning, and we've done about 24 hours now, and we've covered about 144 miles in that 24 hours, so that's not bad timing. We're in a constant, we're in a steady 25 knots now, east southeast. So that's the last few hours, sort of in this middle of this thundery storm cell, I guess you can call it. And we were expecting to get this, but it's not very comfortable. We're doing around about 8 to 9 knots. And we're off, this is Pocklington Reef, so we're about 25 miles from there. I'll try and show you what it's like outside, but it's a lot of spray coming over, so it might be a bit difficult. You might be able to see out the window there actually. Probably 3 metre seas. The odd one like that catches us now and again. Put a bit of water in the cockpit as well, so it'll splash back. We're expecting it to ease off a bit when we get past this storm cell. Don't know when that's going to be. I mean, I thought, according to the weather prediction, we were looking at sunrise and it was going to calm down a bit, but not at the moment. It's still a bit messy. Well, here's the latest update of our trip at the moment. We've just had a rather serious event happen. So we're going along, we're doing 9-10 knots. We had the jib reefed. We had one reef in the main, needed two, but we didn't have two. And all of a sudden, a storm hit us, and the wind shifted another direction. We were on wind steer on our water pull-up. We were on wind steer. So what happened was it turned the boat around, and the front sail started flogging. Tried to get it in. A lot of pressure. It was blown over 32, 33 knots. I can't remember exactly, something like that. It was blown over 33 knots at the time. Tried to pull the head sail in, we couldn't, and it just got shredded. It just got ripped, and then the two sheets were flogging, and in the end I cut the lines because they were taking the blocks off the deck as well, and they were just like missiles. So we're a little bit shook up at the moment about it all. Yeah, so the head sail's destroyed. I'll show you this. So in the end, when the head sail was flogging, I just pulled it down, dropped the jib halyard line and just pulled it down through the foil of the furler onto the deck after cutting the lines, and just pulled it back here and stuck it in the cockpit. Then the next thing we did was we still had too much main up. The second lines, the reefing points weren't in. So we thought the best thing to do is just pull that down as well. So we pulled the main down and just put the motor on, and at the moment we're just on autopilot. And I think the plan at the moment is we're pretty shook up by all this at the moment, so we've had to sort of, we both nearly fell off the boat trying to do various things. Because it's slippy, it's a wet deck with all the rain that the storm brought. It's slippy all around the boat. And so what we're going to do now is we just turn one of the motors on and we just motor and just keep going. I mean, look, we haven't got enough fuel to motor all the way, so we're going to have to sail anyway, but we're going to motor tonight because it's still expected to top 30 knots, and tomorrow is supposed to be maybe 10-15, so we can probably just put the main up and I'll rig that second reef in, and we'll just run with the mainsail, and then the following day is supposed to be another southeast change, 25-30 knots, and we'll just have to see. So just play it by ear. We've got 1,000 litres of fuel, not enough to get us all the way there, but when it's a bit lighter I'll just use the mainsail. In the stronger winds I think we'll just motor, see how it goes. So that's the plan at the moment. Let's just see what happens. Keep you updated. So it's about 7 o'clock in the morning. This is the third morning since we've left now. Just making some Scots porridge oats for breakfast. Keep me going. Leah's on most of the night watch, and I've had a bit of a sleep. Now we've got these squally showers which we dodge, and we keep going to the east side of them to try and avoid them as best as we can, and we've got a big band of them going through these thunderstorms, so it's going to last for quite a while. The status with the boat, well, we've already talked about the two broken windows, the sail that's been ripped to pieces. I can't get the port engine to start, the temperature alarm keeps coming on. I've been in and had a look at the sea chest, which is where the raw water comes out into. I can't open it because one of the bolts is seized on it. And I'm going to have a look inside to see if the impeller's okay. It's probably in the sea chest where it's blocked and I just can't get there. Or it could be the inlet from outside. The other problem is we've got dirty fuel in the other tank as well. So I'm going to have to try and put some fuel doctor in the tank, because I think when we've got in these big waves it stirred all the crap up at the bottom of the tank. So I need to try and I've got a lot of filters. I'll just keep changing the filters and run some of the diesel out, see how bad it is, and see if we can get some clean fuel out there. So things aren't the best at the moment. We've got one mainsail. We've got a code 0 if we get very light winds we could use, but very light winds. So we're still keeping going. Anybody fancy a drink? How about this? I've just emptied the fuel out of the filter bowl, and that's what was in there, so it's all junk. Although the filter itself wasn't too bad, it was reasonably clean, so it was cleaning all that crap. So I've just drained that out, put some fuel in. I put some fuel doctor in the main tank as well, and I think it's the storms that we're going through, and the boat's up and down, and because it draws from the bottom of the tank, it draws all the crap out as well. So I hope that's going to do the trick, and it's going to keep on going, because the port engine, it was going for about 5 or 10 minutes and the alarms kept coming on, and I can't figure out what's wrong with it. So it's to do with the alarms, the electrics, which we've got a problem with, which we need to fix when we get to Australia, but we can't do it now. The engine works, it goes along, but then the alarms all come on. Temperature, I've checked the coolant, I've checked the impeller, I've checked the raw water intake, the sea chest. So I've checked everything that I know that it could be. Other than that, it's got to be electrical. So at the moment I'm trying to go past this storm, so I'm trying to keep it, go to the east of it, get around it. And this fishing boat, it's a 44 metre fishing vessel. We saw him earlier. I thought he'd gone past us, and it looks like he's probably fishing. So he's sort of gone in front of us. He's about 4 miles away. I can't see him, I can only see him on the AIS. Maybe he's got the same idea. I'm just hoping he hasn't got any long nets out the back. I might get on the radio in a minute, but he probably doesn't talk English. I think they're Chinese. We'll have a look. So that's just numbers and letters. So it's fishing vessel, 44 metres, 8 metres beam. He's bearing 145 degrees, and he's 3.2 miles away from us. And he's doing 12.2 knots. His course is 260. Not fun. It's pissing down with rain, and we've had up to 30 knots. And it just crept up on us. If you put the radar on for like a couple of miles away, you don't see, put it back to 1 mile, and all of a sudden you've got it there, and it stretches for about 4 or 5 miles. It's weird, you don't see it from 6-8 miles away sometimes. It's really weird the way these it's really weird the way they just creep up on you, these squalls. Hard to predict. And because it's night now, it's about 6 in the evening, so yeah, you can't see them. Only on the radar, and we just had the bilge alarms go off. One of the bilges is full of water. Leah's gone to bed, she's had enough. It's not having a good time at the moment. Cruising isn't always great, sometimes very miserable. There we go. So good afternoon, this is day 4, this is Wednesday afternoon, it's about 1:30. And at the moment we've changed course to go to the southwest. So what we're trying to do is to avoid the brunt of these squalls and showers, and hopefully they'll pass. If we can get down to around about 14 degrees south, we should miss the major part of them. And there's a southeasterly change, 25-30 knots coming in, and we're hoping to sort of get behind that, and hopefully it'll have gone through by the time we get there. So we've gone southwest trying to avoid this. So it puts longer on the trip, but if we can miss this crappy weather, that would be good. And it's just squalls everywhere you go. Well, for the past 3 days we've had squalls. So you see all those little dots around where the boat is. They're just the squalls. You may see that we're going rather slow, 2.5 knots. We're motoring more or less. We're motoring more or less into the wind with just the one engine and just jumping over the waves. So it's slowed us right down. And so we got headed about 150 degrees. We were down about 180, 190 before, so we've changed the course a fair bit. So you can see there we've come down here, now we're going back in that way. So we want to get to around about where that symbol is there, but that area. Once we get down to a bit further down, we can turn once this crappy weather's gone and head for Townsville. I think ahead of us is the southeasterly change that we were expecting. It looks a bit ominous out there. The wind seems to be building at the moment, and the sea, so we need to get this to the southwest and get behind it, and then we probably won't feel the worst of it then.
Thanks for watching. Join us next time as we continue our journey to Australia. We look forward to a possible rest stop at a remote islet and ponder the uncertainties of the formalities of arriving in Australia due to COVID.